You're probably watching this video because the title said something to you, or you know me and you know I talk about money. But we're going to start at ground zero. We're going to start teaching you a few lessons about money and what you need to know about money in order to live a more prosperous life, in order to get yourself on your own mission, get money out of the way so that you can live that life that you know you really truly want. So what do you need to know? Spend all of your money because you were born to be broke? Listen, I say it because the reality is that your money habits most likely came to you from your parents. So what was their money situation like? Did they always run out of money? Did they barely have enough money? Did bills barely get paid? You know, most people that really grind and work make just enough money to pay the bills. So most of our parents were scared to death. They made sure the bills got paid on time, or they did their best to juggle, call rob Peter to pay Paul type scenario. But the reality is that everybody, except for that top 10 to 20%, makes just enough money to break even. Do you want to Google it? I'll give you the first statistic. Here you go. 85% of all households are broke. 85% of almost all households are living check to check and they don't have any money. 45% of those households have zero funds anywhere. Their savings account, their investment accounts, they don't have any money anywhere. You need to know that. What part of the equation are you on? 45% have no money. These people are living check to check. 45% have zero. 50% don't have $500 anywhere. So when we start thinking about money, I'm not preaching to you, I'm telling you, you need to know what category you fall into. You need to understand what voices are you listening to. So the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is to analyze your parents and their household, and then see if your house and your parents' house actually mirror each other. If you are reliving your parents' life in one way or another, hey, I will be honest. For me, I lived and mirrored my parents' life. I just did it at a much higher level. So where my parents made just enough money to take care of the house and all those type of things, I made just enough money to take care of my house. But the reality is that my house was 10 times more expensive. So the net effect was still the same, just enough money, even though I had a whole lot more money. Now I have a whole lot more money, and as I start to use my own tools, the lessons that I'm going to be sharing with you every week, things get a little easier, things get a lot better, and you start accumulating wealth a lot faster. So let me ask you this. What percent of most people are putting money away in their pension or some sort of retirement plan? Okay, less than 7% of people's contributions are going towards retirement. Less than 7%. It's under that. So what are you putting away in your 401k? Are you repeating your parents? Look at them in retirement, and they may not talk about money because money's taboo. Nobody's allowed to talk about money. You need to start talking about money in your own house with your significant other, or even with yourself. And that simply means stop hiding from the money game. You need to get in the game, and you need to take extreme advantage of it. So what am I really saying? I am not here to say that I believe that you can save. I'm not telling you this so that you can start to save your way to financial freedom. Hopefully your goal is to have enough money that you can do what you want, when you want, how you want, as often as you want, in any style, fashion, or format that you want, because that's how you decided you want to roll. That's financial freedom, okay? So the question you have to ask yourself is, am I there? According to statistics, and if you're watching this video, most likely you're not there. So you need to understand the first rule. You cannot spend what you make. You can't spend what you make. So what's the numbers? The book, right, our educational books will tell you that 50% of what you bring home, you should be spending on your core living needs, your cars, your houses, all your core things that you need for shelter and transportation. The next 25 to 30%, the book says that you should be putting away for your spending, things that you need, gasoline, groceries, your entertainment, right? Extra shoes for the kids. And the last 20%, they tell you you should be saving that, okay, in your pension or outside. Here's what I say. I say that you should definitely try to stay under 25% for your personal spending. And you should do your best to get closer to 30 to 40% on your core needs if at all possible. Now, we all make bad choices. You know, we buy cars that are too expensive. We buy houses that we can afford but barely afford, so now we're house poor. And you can't change those scenarios like right now, right? You need to make a change as you go. So I'm going to tell you that if you were to take a look at that, and I say, look, put 10% of your money away in savings, which would be above 90% of people that work right now, 10% away. You want to work towards getting 10% away. And you also have to have a budget. We'll talk about in the next lesson or in a future lesson. But right now, what we're saying to you is this. Put your money away. Have 10% for emergencies, things that you can control your life without going to a family member or a bank for a loan. Above and beyond that, you cannot save your way to financial freedom. So you need to reinvest that other 10% into yourself. How can you level up your value? Because money is all about the value that you bring and how much value can you accumulate from the work and the effort that you've done. So we're not switching value for savings. I'm simply saying to you, you need to elevate your value. Elevate your game in your business, in your life. Start thinking of other things and ways that you can create more revenue, more value off of what you already do, where you're going and how you're going to do it, if you want a better life. Now listen, you've been listening to the wrong voice. Your original voice was the one of your parents. You watched it, you heard it, you followed it. My dad used to say all the time, money doesn't grow on trees, son. And I used to say, it's paper, Dad, it's paper. He would look at me and shake his head just like this. So here's the reality. The voice that you're listening to says, you should save as much money as possible. The same voice is saying, hey, you need a new laptop. You need a new kitchen door. You need to remodel. You need a new car. So both voices, same person, and they're both wrong. They are both wrong. What's your heart of hearts telling you? My heart of hearts says, I deserve more. I want more. But here's the trick. You have to do more. If you know in your heart you deserve more, a better life, you want a better life, you have to be willing to do better. So dive into what your money story is, where you are, where you've been, where you've come from, and then tweak it, elevate it, put it down, and then come back for the next lesson. I'm Derek Gann. I want you to be your best, bring your best, and leave nothing to chance.